TJ, I think it would be a mistake to start Shedeur Sanders week one. Not because he's not talented, not because he won't have an illustrious career, not because I don't think he'll be a great player for several reasons. Number one, in talking to who I perceive to be the greatest coach of all time, Andy Reid, he was like, I don't like to start my rookie quarterbacks. Yeah. Notably, didn't start Patrick Mahomes. Notably, if you think about all the quarterbacks that have won MVP over the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, they do not and have not started week one. Whether that was Josh Allen, whether that was Lamar Jackson, whether that was Patrick Mahomes, whether that was Aaron Rodgers, whether that was Tom Brady, you have to go back to 2016.
Here's a terrifying fact that should make every Browns fan lose sleep. Every single quarterback who has started week one for Cleveland in the last 5 years has been benched or injured before the season ended. Baker Mayfield, benched. Deshaun Watson, injured. Jacoby Brissett, replaced. Joe Flacco when he started? The pattern is real, and now they're about to throw their golden boy Shedeur Sanders into this quarterback graveyard. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming. A Browns wide receiver just dropped a bombshell that Kenny Pickett might actually start over the future franchise QB, and the reasons why will blow your mind. Look, I've been following this Browns quarterback situation closer than a detective on a murder case, and what I'm about to tell you is going to change how you see this entire franchise. We're not just talking about another quarterback controversy here. We're talking about a systematic destruction of young talent that's been happening in Cleveland for half a decade. You think you know the Browns' quarterback problems? You don't know half of it. What's happening behind closed doors is so much deeper than what you see on Sunday afternoons, and the evidence is staring us right in the face. But first, let's talk about what everyone's missing about this Shedeur Sanders situation. The kid comes into the league with more hype than a Marvel movie premiere. Coach Prime's son, Colorado's golden boy, the quarterback who was supposed to save whatever franchise was lucky enough to draft him. The Browns get him, and suddenly everyone's talking about how Cleveland finally found their franchise guy. But here's what's got me losing sleep at night. Are the Browns about to do to Shedeur what they've done to every other quarterback they've touched? Because the pattern is so obvious, it's scary. Think about this for a second. Baker Mayfield was the #1 overall pick, the chosen one Heisman Trophy winner, the guy who was supposed to end Cleveland's quarterback curse. What happened? He started week one his rookie year, got absolutely destroyed by the franchise, and never recovered his confidence. Now he's in Tampa Bay playing some of the best football of his career. Coincidence? I don't think so. Deshaun Watson, this one still makes my head spin. The Browns traded away 3 first-round picks and gave this man $230 million guaranteed. Guaranteed! You know what happened when he started week one? Injured. Done. Finished. And not just any injury, the kind that makes you question everything. Here's where it gets really interesting, and this is what nobody's talking about. The smartest football minds in the game are saying something that should terrify Browns fans. Andy Reid, and we're talking about the grotesque coach of all time here, told these analysts something that should be written in stone: I don't like to start my rookie quarterbacks. You want to know who didn't start week one of their rookie season? Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. You have to go all the way back to 2016 to find a league MVP who started week one as a rookie, and that was Matt Ryan. But Cleveland? They're about to throw another lamb to the slaughter.
It's interesting. Number one, Shedeur started a ton of games in college, so he'll be prepared. I looked at it when I was looking at the question. This made me think, if Kenny Pickett starts, then that shows me Kevin Stefanski feels like his job may be on the line. If he starts Shedeur, he know he has a little leeway. We can develop this guy. Because if you start Kenny Pickett, it's as if we have to win now. I was told Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel, one of those two are going to be the starter. I was told this a long time ago by somebody in the building. Flacco and Shedeur are going to be the third quarterback. I'm not sure they thought Shedeur would do this, but...
Now here's where the story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. Word is getting out that Kenny Pickett might actually get the nod over Shedeur for week one, and the reasoning behind this decision is absolutely fascinating. One insider put it perfectly, and this is going to blow your mind. If Kevin Stefanski starts Kenny Pickett, it means he feels like his job is on the line. Think about that for a second. The head coach knows that if he starts the rookie, he has some leeway to develop him. But if he starts Pickett, it's win now mode. It's desperation time. And here's the kicker. Multiple sources are saying that Kenny Pickett or Dillon Gabriel were always going to be the starters, with Flacco and Shedeur as the third quarterback. They never expected Shedeur to develop this quickly, but now they're in a bind. You want to talk about not having enough reps? Listen to this. When you've got 4 quarterbacks in camp, how do you distribute the snaps? You get 12 plays in 7-on-7, 12 plays in team drills, and someone's got to get the first team reps. The math doesn't work. There aren't enough reps to go around, and that's how quarterback developments die. But here's what's really got me thinking. Maybe, just maybe, the Browns are making the right call for the wrong reasons. But let me paint you a picture of why starting Kenny Pickett might actually save Shedeur's career. Kenny Pickett is 25, 26 years old. He's still young. He was a first-round pick that Cleveland got for basically nothing, a 5th-round pick. If he goes out there and plays like Sam Darnold did in Minnesota, like Baker Mayfield did when he found the right system in Tampa Bay, then you've got a bonus for your football team while your 2 young guys develop behind him. But if you start Shedeur week 1, here's what happens, and this is based on 5 years of Cleveland Browns history. He gets thrown into the fire with an offensive line that can't protect him, with a team that isn't ready to win, and when they start 0-4, guess who gets blamed? The rookie quarterback. And here's the psychological damage that nobody talks about. When you start anybody as a quarterback and then get pulled, it doesn't matter who you are, you start to doubt yourself. You start questioning everything. Am I good enough? Why did they bench me? What am I doing wrong? That confidence loss can destroy a young quarterback's career before it even starts. Remember Drake May? He came in as a relief quarterback, won a couple games, and suddenly everyone's talking about how good he looked as a rookie. But imagine if he had started the season, went 3-13, and got benched. Completely different narrative, right? But here's the counter-argument that's keeping me up at night. If you're the Cleveland Browns and you've got Kevin Stefanski, the same guy who led Baker Mayfield to their first playoff appearance since 2007, the same guy who had Joe Flacco lead that team to the playoffs just 2 years ago, maybe you're thinking you've got enough talent to compete. You've got Myles Garrett wreaking havoc on defense. You've got Denzel Ward locking down receivers. Your offensive line isn't terrible. You've got a solid running game. And you've got a head coach who's proven he can get quarterbacks to play above their level. Maybe, just maybe, this Browns team is better than we think, and starting Shedeur week 1 isn't a death sentence, it's an opportunity. Here's what really scares me about this whole situation. The Browns can't give up on their young quarterback. If you start Shedeur and tell the world this is our guy, you can't pull him after 4 games just because things get rough. Every rookie quarterback goes through ups and downs. That's part of the development process. But Cleveland has a history of panicking. They have a history of giving up on quarterbacks too early. They have a history of destroying confidence instead of building it. And here's the part that nobody's considering. What if they're all wrong? What if the real answer isn't Shedeur or Kenny Pickett? What if it's Dillon Gabriel, the 3rd-round pick who won games everywhere he went? Oregon, Oklahoma, UCF, the kid's been a winner at every stop. He's smaller, sure, but he can play. Think about it like this. You're playing the Price is Right, and you can take what's behind door number 1, or you can stick with what you know. The unknown is often better, at least in our minds, than what's in front of us. If Shedeur starts and struggles, don't you want to see what Gabriel can do? Don't you want to know if your 3rd-round investment was worth it? But here's the reality check that's going to upset a lot of people. This Browns team isn't winning 10 games with A and Y of these quarterbacks. Not in the AFC, not in that division. They might have a chance to win some games, but playoffs, championship contention, that's not happening this year. So the question becomes, are you playing for this season, or are you playing for the future? Here's what I think is really happening behind the scenes. Kevin Stefanski knows his job is on the line. The pressure is mounting. The fans are restless. The organization needs results. Starting Kenny Pickett gives him the best chance to win games early and buy himself more time. But starting Shedeur, that's a long-term play. That's betting on the future. That's admitting this season might be about development rather than competition. And here's the twist that changes everything. What if the Browns are actually being smart for once? What if they start Kenny Pickett, let him take the early season beatings, and then bring in Shedeur when the line is more settled, when the system is more established, when the pressure is off? Think about it. If Pickett starts and the Browns go 0-4, everyone blames Pickett and the system. But if Shedeur comes in week 5 and starts winning games, he's the hero, he's the savior. He's the reason for the turnaround. It's the same reason Drake May looked so good. He came in when expectations were low and exceeded them. But here's what's got me most concerned about this entire situation. Cleveland has a proven track record of destroying quarterbacks. It doesn't matter how talented they are, how much potential they have, or how much the organization invests in them. Something about that building, that culture, that system breaks quarterbacks.
And now they're about to get their hands on arguably the most hyped quarterback prospect they've had since Baker Mayfield. A kid with all the tools, all the confidence, all the pedigree you could want. The question isn't whether Shedeur Sanders is talented enough to succeed in Cleveland. The question is whether Cleveland is good enough for Shedeur Sanders. So here's what it comes down to, and this is where you come in. Are the Browns making the smart play by potentially starting Kenny Pickett over Shedeur week 1? Are they finally learning from their mistakes, or are they about to repeat them in a different way? Because let's be real, this decision is going to define the next 5 years of Browns football. Get it right, and maybe they finally break the quarterback curse. Get it wrong, and they'll be right back where they started, searching for answers at the most important position in sports. What do you think? Should the Browns throw Shedeur into the fire week 1, or should they protect their investment and let Kenny Pickett take the early hits? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, because this quarterback battle is just getting started, and you're not going to want to miss what happens next. The Browns quarterback curse is real, and Shedeur Sanders is about to find out if he's strong enough to break it, or if he'll become its next victim.